Alola! Welcome to my review of Pokemon Journeys, episode 37. I'm back. It's nice to meet you, Alola. Hello, if you end up enjoying this video, please consider leaving a like and maybe subscribing. It would help me a lot. So, disclaimer. I'm a huge Sun and Moon fan, so I'm incredibly biased about this episode. But I absolutely adore it! In a quite weird setup, Yamper gives Go a Leaf Stone, which evolves as Execute, and Ash wants to show him Alolan Exeggutor. So that's a little strange, but I like it. It's actually very nice that Ash's first thought is Alola, since Alolan Exeggutor was prominent there. Basically, this whole episode is just a load of fan service in Alola. Ash and Go meet Kukui, who came to pick him up. So like, right off the bat, they hit us hard with a reunion. Ash is lighting up when Kukui pats his head, and he even calls in his Alolan family again. Oh my god. Go's nervous. Alola is also very incredible. But it's also nice to see Kukui praising Reboot and Sobble because of how Go's raised them. Because clearly he's done a good job. Ash even still calls Kukui's house home, so da! Ash also meets Burnett and his Alolan brother Lay. And Ash even knew his name, so he's either kept in contact with him or Kukui told him on the way over. But either way, the way they meet is the most wholesome thing I've ever seen. Ash has a brother now. It's so good. And then the Pokemon, oh my god, the hug from his Alola team. And then they just give him a nice big hug to Go, and it's so nice seeing them after being away for so long now. The reunion with Burnett is also really good. So Burnett does let them know that a party Mallow is holding at a Pokemon school, and then they're off. And this will sort of tie into one issue I have with this episode later. Kukui calls him a good team, which is nice. His dad approves of Go, that's really cool. And Go just takes in the beauty of a region that Ash fell in love with too. We get a great callback to episode 1 of Sun and Moon where Go tries to catch a Grubbin, and Ash tells it he'll dig. So Go accidentally runs into an Alolan Dog trio, and he falls off a cliff into a lake, where he meets Lana, who hooks him up. How strong is she to hold him? Damn. Like, she keeps him up there for a while. But I guess she did hook Kyogre though, so he tells her his name, and she knows that he's Ash's friend. So again, is Ash staying in touch with them? Maybe. And then we just get bombarded with seeing Team Rocket's Alolan Pokemon, and then the Rotom Dex that comes to find Ash, and it also gets upset that Rotom Phone misidentifies what it can do. Like, that's just great. I love seeing Rotom get mad about that. I also miss Rotom Dex. I hate the Rotom phones. So Go is at a Pokemon school where he's being interrogated by the Alola gang. And being a nervous wreck and a very relatable character, he just wants Ash to get there to like kind of get them off him. And you know what? That's great. Go has troubles making friends. Even despite the fact that he probably made up with Tokyo, that kind of hurt doesn't just go away. So some overly friendly people would probably be tough to deal with for him. Because I know if I was in this situation, I'd probably be in the same boat. So Kiawe walks in instead of Ash and proclaims he's the one who's Ash's rival. Asks how strong Go is, and asks about Go's Pokemon, and then he sees Sobble and Reboot, and Go's worried about what's going to happen. So Ash does arrive to break the tension with a cheerful Alola, and oh, that was so amazing to hear again. I opened up a Sun and Moon episode this morning, just to hear it, and then actually hearing it again in Journeys. It's surreal. I'm so glad they did that. The party begins, and oh my god, we get to see Ash's Alola team and Journey's team releasing together with the Alola gang's Pokemon too. This is an incredible scene, and we get an idea of how everyone is working towards their dreams as well. But then Lon does an Alolan surprise and pulls out a letter from Lily. So this is basically just a progress update on how she's doing, but more importantly, we get to actually cut to Lily and Gladion talking about getting closer to finding Mon, with Magearna still guiding away. She addresses it to everyone, including Ash, which is kind of a surprise to him, but also does reinvigorate him. So he challenges Kiawe to a battle, but then Kiawe challenges Go to a battle instead. And that match is basically about proving if Go is a worthy rival for Ash or not. But Go wants to protect his pride as well, so he accepts it. And look, Go is out of his league. There's never really any indication that he has a chance of really beating Kiawe, aside from just landing one double kick. So Kiawe pulls out his Z move and tells Go to run, but Go gives a nice speech about not being Ash's rival. They're friends and research fellows. It's important to note that during this, Marowak and Kiawe kind of like nod to each other, and then Kiawe and Turtonator fire off an Inferno Overdrive. Reboot is so out of his league when it tries to Ember into a Z-move to fight it back. They have no chance, but Marowak quickly saves him from a blast. So I love that. The battle thing was just a test to test Go's resolve. And as a kahuna in training, testing a trainer is an important step. So Go is entrusted to look after Ash by Kiawe, which is pretty wholesome, and he lets him in on his dream of getting Mew. So we then cut to Treasure Island of all places, where Go manages to get himself an Alolan Exeggutor, and he truly looks like part of the Sun and Moon gang. The fact that this episode contained some development for Go made this feel like it was more than just a Sun and Moon episode in a Journey skin, which is really good. And then Go wants to go to Alola again when we cut back to the Sakuragi Park. We do cut there from Treasure Island, so it's a bit of a weird transition, but you know. Alright, so as you can probably tell, I bloody love this episode. It's such a love letter to Alola and Sun and Moon, and oh my god, did I mention that I had some issues with this episode? Yeah, I did. So starting with those, this really feels like a victim of this show's structure. There is a lot of content being put into this episode, which isn't necessarily bad, but it really feels like a proper two-parter was needed here. We have Ash reuniting with his family, and then we don't really see them again after. What we had was fantastic. I just wish we had more of it. We have Ash reuniting with his friends as well. We have Go going to where Ash truly fell in love with Alola, and not spending time with him there, really. You know, we could have got an episode like where Ash took Misty and the Alola gang there. It's just really jam-packed, and it could have used more time. Oh, they also don't mention Ash being the champion, but I'm oddly okay with it. Oh, and also if we had more time, I really wish we got to see Team Rocket here. The fact that we saw their Pokemon gives me hope for a future Team Rocket focused episode though, but feels odd because Alola's their home too. Now that the negatives are out of the way. Oh my god, this is love letter to Alola. Ash getting to return to his second home is incredible. Seeing everyone, including Pokemon again, is amazing. Ash finally having a sibling after lamenting not having one in X and Y, superb. There's implications that Ash keeps in contact with everyone as well, which yes, just yes, he loves everyone in Alola, so it makes sense. There's parallels to Sun and Moon episode 1, with the Grubbin and Lana being introduced by hooking something. There's also Kiawe, who's actually putting up a great front against Go. That sort of feels like when he was being suspect of Ash at first in Sun and Moon. They didn't throw the Mon story out the window either, which, thank God. They keep it in our mind though for a future story, and just throwing it out there, you know, my guess is that it's going to be in Galar because of a train. And Galar is the only region that also gets 2-parters currently, so that would be preferable. If we just got one episode focused on Lily finding Mon, that wouldn't feel good. But lastly, regarding the plot of this episode, I love how it adheres to Sun and Moon's family theme. Ash's family grows with Lei, and being around Kukui and Burnett again is the purest thing. And his Pokemon still adore him, of course. Go gets accepted into a wider Alolan family despite having doubts and being worried, but he just seamlessly fits in. He discovered a love for Alola too, and so I'm glad. I also wanted to add, if you're a Sun and Moon fan or not, be happy. This episode opens so many doors for what future companion returns can be. They treated this with so much respect, so you should get excited for Brock, Misty, Dawn, whoever you like, and they'll be done phenomenally, just like Alola was. So I'm very excited to see more of my favourite anime region in the future.